All right, Dallas throws the ball a lot more than the 49ers, and CeeDee Lamb in his last 29 games. 166 catches, 2,190 yards, and 13 touchdowns. That's on 242 targets. Aiyuk just had 190 targets, 133 catches, but 1,874 and 14 touchdowns in his last 29 games. So Brandon Aiyuk, not only has he fought his way out of the doghouse, he's got a 1,000-yard season. He's got a big Week 1 game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. 8 catches, 129 yards, 2 touchdowns. And now he looks like the number one option, and you heard Baldy talk about his run blocking there. Brandon Aiyuk is becoming the most complete wide receiver on this football team, and he's becoming the wide receiver that I think nationally is going to start raising some eyebrows about.
You know, Baldy was talking about what makes great wide receivers great, and it's the ability to run a route, change direction without slowing down in speed. When you watch him at practice, he separates so quickly.
He does.
You know, he gets multiple steps of separation, which in the NFL is wide open.
Right.
And it's a unique ability because you watch 6, 7, 8 receivers do these drills over and over and over again, and he's the only one consistently winning at multiple spots in the route.
No doubt about that. Let's go to Herm Edwards. Go out to the line here. Herm Edwards, former coach, the Kansas City Chiefs. Former coach of the New York Jets, Arizona State Sun Devils. And I want to know when he first discovered Brandon Aiyuk, because Aiyuk is a JUCO product. I went to City College in San Francisco. They play Sierra College. Sierra College produces a lot of players. But Brandon Aiyuk, when we're thinking about Arizona State, and we're just talking about this, Shasky, it was all about N'Keal Harry, who's a fine wide receiver himself. We didn't know much about Brandon Aiyuk. So let's ask Coach. Coach, good morning. Welcome to the Morning Roast here on 95.7 The Game. Bonte Hill, Joe Shasky, the Butcher. And we're talking about Brandon Aiyuk because he has come on here, 1,000-yard season a year ago. Big game against the Steelers on Sunday, 8 catches, 129 yards. But when did you first catch wind of Brandon Aiyuk, and when did you start recruiting him to your program at Arizona State when you're coach of the Sun Devils?
Well, you know, he always, you know, he's a JC guy, as you guys mentioned before, and once we were recruiting him, the first thing he told me, he said, "Hey, coach, you know, I can play DB too." I said, No, I don't want you to play DB. I want you to be a wide receiver. And we got him over there, and obviously, you know, he was sitting behind N'Keal. He was playing, but when N'Keal left, we told him, I said, "Hey, it's your show now." And he had a good relationship with our quarterback, Jaden Daniels, and those guys hit it off very well. But doesn't surprise me what he's doing at all. He's that kind of guy, and you guys mentioned it. He can separate out of the breaks, has great acceleration, and create space, you know, and he has really good hands. He can adjust to the high ball, low ball. I mean, he has all those things needed to be a wide receiver. And he's very competitive. I mean, to almost to a fault. I mean, his brain, no one can cover him. And obviously, going on the road and having a game like that in Pittsburgh, that was one of those head scratchers for me, because I thought that you know, Pittsburgh was going to play a lot better than they did. But it started with San Francisco's defense, obviously, and then from there, their offense took over, and Aiyuk made a couple great catches, but really the blocking through for you know, for Caffrey was something that I know Coach Shanahan likes. He likes those receivers to block, but it was a great block, and it sprung him. But he was quite outstanding against a really good football team in the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Coach, I always feel like there's a stigma against these, you know, public college, community college, JC college guys. No, like, it's serious. But I think of someone like Steve Smith, you know, went to Santa Monica and then worked his way up to Utah. Now with the transfer portal, I'm sure it's different. But why has there always been such a stigma against the junior college players?
I think it's certain schools are that way, and certain schools are not. You know, look, I went to Cal right out of high school and ended up there at San Diego State. And I can remember going to San Diego State. They were all JC guys and double transfers. So I think certain schools, you know, recruit certain athletes. And I think when you want to build your program, a lot of guys go after high school guys. But as you just mentioned, that is no longer the norm in college football. The recruiting portal is real. It's free agency every year. And not only do you go out and try to get other players, but it's hard to keep your players. You got to recruit them every day, especially the ones that are sitting behind somebody else. They're going to leave. If they get another offer somewhere to go, they're going to go.
Brandon Aiyuk, he had an up and down rookie season dealing with health issues, but you saw the flashes. You saw the flashes of brilliance from him, especially on Sunday Night Football against the Eagles his rookie year where you hurdled over a defender. Then that second season early on, we're trying to figure out what's up with Aiyuk here. Where's the leap at? And he was in the quote-unquote doghouse, in Shanahan's doghouse for a second. When he was down in those times, because since then he's come on and he's got numbers that are comparable to CeeDee Lamb, who was also drafted in that same first round. But did you talk to Brandon Aiyuk? Did he reach out to you when he was kind of down on his luck here with the 49ers early in the second season?
Yeah, he visited. He was really close with Jaden Daniels, and those conversations were had. And when we told him, a long time ago, look, this is pro football, and there's going to be some times when they're going to give you some direction, not correction, but direction. There's a certain way that you have to go about doing things, and he's playing for one of those coaches in Coach Shanahan that. He believes in precision. He believes in doing it his way, his system. And you got to buy into that. And I think, maturity for a lot of guys, right? I mean, Some guys get it earlier than other guys, but at the end, he got it right now.
Yeah.
He's rolling.
No doubt.
Well, I'm looking at someone like Brandon Aiyuk and the transformation from JC to college to the NFL is a quantum leap, and no one knows it better than you. What do you think is the determining thing for someone like him? Is it just staying with himself emotionally, not getting too high, too low? Clearly there's been a physical transformation, but where have you seen some of the biggest areas of growth?
Just maturity and understanding it's professional football, and there's a business side of it too.
Right.
And I think all these guys are understanding that once they get in the league, they see the business of it. And it's really a production league. And it doesn't matter when you were drafted, what round you were drafted in. It goes to show you a couple things you better be understood for.
Right.
That I better be coachable, and I better be available.
No,
and if those two don't work, guess what? You're going to be watching it on TV somewhere else.
Right.
You're going to be in the league. I mean, that's how the league works. It's professional football.
I mean, look at Brock Purdy, Coach. What do you make of that? I mean, that kind of came out of nowhere. I'm sure that you ran into him in recruiting circles, or at least had.
Yeah, we recruited the kid.
Did you?
From Arizona. Yeah, we recruited him. Half the guys that John has on his team.
Are you surprised?
What? How'd you lose him to Iowa State? He's from Phoenix, Coach.
I don't. He was worried about the guy that was there. I guess I don't know. Here's another guy I recruited, and I was glad that he played the way he played. We lost him too. He went to SC. Was Drake Jackson?
Oh
wow!
He had 3 sacks. I mean, that's the potential this kid has, and hopefully that game will make him understand. Hey, I can do this. I can do this at this level. He needed some confidence, and to do what he did, it was like wow, because he was that kind of player in high school, and he was a good player at SC too. And you get drafted, and all of a sudden you're watching. Last year, and you go, what is wrong with this guy? And all of a sudden, that might be the game to get him going, and I hope it is.
Yeah, he looks stronger. He looks faster. He played his butt off against the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm going to go back to Aiyuk for just a second here because wide receivers, you know this, Herm. You've been in the league for a long time, and the quote-unquote wide receiver is the diva position. But I don't see any diva in Brandon Aiyuk, even when he was in the doghouse. Did you know when he at Arizona State, was he this physical in the run game? Because Baldy just joined us, Brian Baldinger, and he said it wasn't just a 65-yard touchdown run by Christian McCaffrey, but there were 6 other run plays where he's chipping and depleting linebackers here. Where did he get that toughness and physicality from? Because you don't see that at the wide receiver position every day.
Well, look, he claims he can play corner. He used to tell him, hey, coach, I can go over there and play defense too, And he wants to be like that kid up in Colorado right now.
Yeah, Travis Hunter, right?
Oh, boy, I tell you what now.
What do you think about that, Herm? What do you think about Deion and what they're doing in Colorado? Because I can't get enough of it. I watch everything. Colorado, they're must-watch television. What do you think about that situation?
I love it for Deion, and he's a good friend, and I'm happy for him. And he's got that team believing, and he's going to do it his way. And you know what? He's taken all the pressure off that team because of his personality, who he is. And there's a lot of people that don't like it. Yeah. But that's Deion. He's got a great heart. He's good with his kids. He's hired a good coaching staff. And those kids just play. And he's got some really talented athletes. And, that young man, Hunter, we just talked about.
Yeah.
I mentioned it when I was in the studio this week. I said, let me tell you something. This guy, if he keeps doing what he's doing, he's got to be somewhere in the race. Maybe not this year, but next year.
What about Shedeur Sanders? Shedeur Sanders is throwing that pill
who
around.
Does that? Who does that? Who plays both ways? Who plays 150 plays in a football game?
The guys from the 1960s, like Leo the Lion Nomalini. We haven't made those humans in years.
Jim Thorpe.
Yeah, exactly.
You go way back to that time, right? I mean, this is unbelievable.
I know.
This is not running football anymore. This is wide open football.
Yeah.
I mean, and he's playing both ways. Unbelievable.
Coach, you were with the Jets, obviously, from 01 to 05, coaching them. I said to B this morning, like, you got to be kidding me. I mean, a Jets fan must feel like they're cursed today. You wake up, the guy didn't even complete a pass. It's Aaron Rodgers.
It's hard to watch it. Look, and I dealt with it. We had won the division the year before, and we go into the last preseason game, and Chad Pennington goes down.
Huh.
So I've been there. I lived it, and then I ended up playing with 5 quarterbacks that year. I mean, it ain't no fun. And when you watch Aaron Rodgers go down, and the funny part about it, guys, he talked about so much the offensive line. Okay, it wasn't the offensive line. This was a 3-step drop.
Yeah.
And and they cut the guy, but then Aaron Rodgers held on to the ball. And then the rush finally got there, and he took him down, and we went, okay. And then he kind of got up, and he went back down. And when he went back down, I went, no.
Yeah.
I just went, no. And then now we're hearing what's going on. It's just you feel bad for him. But with that being said, guess what? Everybody kind of says, yeah, we feel bad for him, but no one's going to feel sorry for him, right? Because that's the NFL. I mean, look what's happened to San Francisco. That's how they found Brock Purdy, right? I mean, quarterbacks go down, and all of a sudden, somebody's got to step up and go play.
No doubt. Herm Edwards, Turn on Warner Russ on 95.7 The Game. Now, we watched all the pageantry before the game, and it was a very emotional day, a very emotional weekend in New York City. 9/11. You're coaching the Jets during that time. Tell me, what was it like last night watching that scenery at MetLife Stadium, and what did it mean for you during that time to be coaching when New York City needed you, the Jets, the Giants? They needed everybody. They needed something to glob onto for a glimmer of hope after what happened with the Twin Towers, man. Can you touch on that, Coach?
Yeah, that was an emotional moment for us when we went back. And I can remember we were playing the Patriots. And the night before the meeting, I told the players, I said, look, guys, we're back playing football. And I said, I don't know how we're going to play tomorrow. I really don't. I said, but it's not about you guys. It's really not. It's about those people in New York and America, just all American fans everywhere. I said, we just got to go play. We just got to go play. Go have fun and play football, man. And, and talking to Belichick same way before the game on the field, we were in New England. He said the same thing. He said, I don't know how my guys are going to play. And I said, I don't know. No one knew. Nobody knew because of what had just happened. I mean, that was an incident that in our lifetime, that was the last thing we thought about as Americans now.
Yeah.
It's kind of unique when things like that happen, how all of a sudden everybody becomes an American again. And we all have the same feeling for our great country. It's a country of opportunity and hope and all those things. And some tragic event like that brought everyone together. And there wasn't a dry in the stadium when they sung the national anthem, guys. Oh, I promise you. There was not a dry in that stadium, on the sidelines, in the stands, anywhere. And I think that was all over. Whoever was playing football that week, that was probably in every stadium.
And you guys made the playoffs that year, of course, winning a 6th seed and battling in the AFC East with those Dolphins and Patriots, man. You guys were able to do your thing that season with the New York Jets. But I thought about you yesterday, and we all thought about you and all the Jets, for that matter, who played in that uniform, who's been in New York City, and on a day like last night, seeing all the pageantry and everybody getting emotional. And for the Jets to win that game, they needed something after watching their quarterback go down in the first 4 players, Herm.
Well, you're exactly right. And them like San Francisco, and I'll say this, and Dallas, those, when you watch those 3 games, defensively, 49ers, the Cowboys, and the way the Jets defense played last night, it was dominant.
Yeah.
I mean, it was dominant. It was like, whoa. It came off the screen like these guys got no shot.
Yeah.
They can't move the ball. I mean, all 3 of those games. I mean, what San Francisco did to go to Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
I mean, Pittsburgh's not a bad football team, guys. That was one of those things I said, this could be kind of a going into Pittsburgh, playing those guys. It wasn't close. And then Dallas, I mean, the Giants are a physical football team. And I said, it wasn't close, guys. After the first quarter, you said, This is over.
Yeah.
This is done. The Giants got no shot.
Coach,
it's amazing.
I want to ask you, Coach, is there anybody playing better linebacker than Fred Warner? Because I know you watched that hit when he decapitated Najee Harris. I don't think anybody's playing better.
No, they look, their defense. These guys got in San Francisco. It's just funny. It's just funny. I laugh at it. These guys, what are you doing? I mean, you got a headache. I mean, it's like, where are they coming from? It looks like they're playing with 12 guys sometimes. So how did they make that play, right? No, they are unbelievable. They really are. And I'm happy for Steve. You know, he got the job as coordinator, and he's done a great job taking over a defense that was very talented. And he understands it, you know, and those guys are playing, and that's their calling call. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, I think we live in an age now where we talk about the quarterback so much, rightly so, because when you got one, you got a chance.
No doubt.
You know, when you don't have one, the field's 150 yards long. But defense sometimes gets overlooked. And I think at the end, you know, it's always about those things. Don't beat yourself. Can you play good defense, especially defense travels well on the road. It travels well in weather. It's a mindset. And running the football is another thing we get away from. We devalue the running back. Okay, you devalue all you want until November hits. And when you can't throw it all over the yard, you better be able to run the ball.
Yeah.
You know, so those things still are important playing football.
Yeah, controlling the trenches, no doubt about that. And thanks so much for the insight on Brandon Aiyuk. We can't get enough of him. We think he's the best pure wide receiver on this football team right now. He's going to get a big bag, too, so hopefully he gives you some little bonuses there for recruiting to Arizona State, giving us some belief.
Hey, man, I'm proud of him. Look, there's a legacy of some real good receivers that played for the 49ers, and one of them was I was trying to cover those days when Joe Montana was there. That guy, Jerry Rice. He's pretty good, too, now, guys.
No doubt. No doubt. We're spoiled out here. Jerry Rice, T.O., John Taylor, and Quan Bolden for a couple years. Now we get Brandon Aiyuk and Deebo Samuel, so we're blessed for that.
Thanks,
we're blessed
Coach.
for the time, Coach. Thanks for the time today.
My pleasure.
Anytime. Herm Edwards here on the Morning Roast on 95.7 The Game.